Hey everyone, Amelia Roberts here, and today I am going to be creating a fiscal year date table in Power BI. Now, we have regular date tables in Power BI, but sometimes they do not do what we need them to do, especially if we are dealing with a fiscal year that does not match up with the typical calendar year. A fiscal year is a full year that typically starts in a month other than January and goes through even into another year. For example, a fiscal year could start in July and go all the way through June of the following year. So if you are in need of a specific date table that aligns with your fiscal calendar, then this is the video for you. Let's head over to my laptop and Power BI and see how this is done using DAX. Before we begin, are you planning on taking a certification exam? You need to check out Cert XP. It is my absolute favorite way to learn and test my technical skills for my certification exams. You just need to visit prag.works/Amelia40 and you'll save 40% on your on-demand learning subscription and get access to over 100 different courses. Let's head over to our video. All right, everyone, so I am just going to pull up a Power BI report that I have made. I already have a regular date table in here, and now I am going to add my fiscal year date table. To do that, I am going to use DAX, so I'm going to go into my table view, and I am going to create a new table. I am going to start this table off by using one of my calendar functions. I'm also going to make this formula bar bigger because I really cannot stand how tiny it is. Let's call this table our fiscal year date table. We'll be specific here. Fiscal year date table. Since we already have a date table over in our data model, we'll be very specific with what it's called. And let's use our calendar auto function for this. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to start our fiscal year in April. So I am going to put a 3 in my parentheses. That 3 in my parentheses is telling my DAX function that it would like to start pretty much 3 months in, which would start me at the beginning of April rather than January 1st, which is what Calendar Auto typically will do. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and we are going to check this out. Since I'm using Calendar Auto, it is pulling from my data model already. My data model starts in the year 2000 and goes through the current year, which is 2024 if you're watching in 2024. And it will automatically update as this data updates. So what I have is failed banks, and if another one fails in 2025, then the date table and this fiscal year date table will both update to add 2025 to it as well. We are going to go ahead and add just a few more columns to this. I am going to add a month number, I'm going to add a quarter number, and then I'm also going to add a range of years for the fiscal year. So let's start by, we're going to add another column here, and we are going to call this one fiscal month number. I'm probably going to put fiscal in front of just about everything. Just because I don't want to confuse any columns with what's in my date column. So I'm just going to be extra specific when it comes to that. I do want to pull my month from my date column. So I'm going to go ahead and use the month function for this. I do need to add just a couple other things in here. Rather than what I would normally do. So I'm going to use the eDate function. And if you're newer to Power BI and newer to DAX, this is a really awesome little section here. IntelliSense pops up and gives us some information. Returns the date that is indicated number of months before or after the start date. So since I'm doing a fiscal date table, my dates are a little off compared to normal, so I am doing this just to be super cautious. I am then going to reference the table in which I am pulling this information from. For me, it is called my fiscal year, and if you can't see your DAX, there's all of this. You can just pull it out. Fiscal year date table. I'm going to hit escape to get rid of my IntelliSense so that you can see this better. I'm then going to refer to my date column. I am then going to hit a comma, and then I'm going to do a -3 because I am using that e-date. Amazing. I need to put another parenthesis. Looks like I need to put it at the end. We'll do that. There we go. So because my fiscal year, here's the thing. My fiscal year is starting in April. I want that to be month 1. Okay. So it would, if I did not put that -3, then it was going to put the month number as 4. But I need that month number to be 1 because that is my first month of the year. So when you go to put this in a visual and you do something like sort by column, it will start it in April as your very first month and go all the way through March as your last month if you have this set up correctly to where the month number is in the right place. So I can show April if I wanted to, and then in the background have it sorted by the fiscal month number so that it works appropriately. Let's go ahead and add another new column, and let's do something similar, but this time let's do the quarter instead. So I'm going to call this fiscal quarter number. So just like months, typically a fiscal year will have quarter numbers that differ from your typical calendar year. So I would like our quarter numbers to line up with that. So I'm going to actually use almost the exact same function here, but I'm going to pull the quarter. I'm going to use e-date again, because I do need to do my -3 once again. I'm going to do my fiscal year date table. I'm going to pull from my date column, comma, -3, and then a double parenthesis once again. So this is going to match my first 3 months, so April, May, June, as my first quarter. Let's hit enter. And there you go. So now you have your fiscal month number and your fiscal quarter number. So now if you want to do something like build a hierarchy, when it drops down and drills down into that data, it is going to say the correct quarter number to coincide with the months that should be in your quote unquote first quarter. Let's do one more. And this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the new column. I'm going to put the DAX up in the formula bar. I'm just going to copy and paste it so that it's all there and you can see it all. And then I'm going to walk you through exactly what it means. So let's go ahead and add a new column. So now that I have this pasted in, let me give you a little breakdown of what each of these parts kind of means, because there's a lot going on here. So one, I have called my column the fiscal year. Now, why am I just calling it fiscal year instead of fiscal years? Because that is just what I decided to name it. The fiscal year, because we start in April and it goes through till March, it will overlap into 2 different years. So I have just decided to call it my fiscal year. Right after that, I have a lot of VAR functions, which stands for variable. And what I'm doing here is I am just making variable definitions here so that I can kind of create what I want later on in my function. So I have 6 total variable definitions here. The first 3, what I'm doing is pretty much defining what my current year, next year, and previous year are. So my current year, I'm pulling from my date table, and then my next year and previous year, I'm pulling from my current year, but I'm adding one or subtracting one there. Now, you notice that I have an underscore in front of those variables. That is because that is a best practice there. For instance, next year is actually a DAX function. So your DAX will get confused if I just called this next year instead of underscore next year. So a best practice in order to avoid any issues along those lines is just to put an underscore in front of any of your named variables. My next 3 variables, what I'm doing is just defining the format in which I want my years to show up as. I am going to do a 4-digit year because that's what I would want. You do have the option of doing a 2-digit one if you want, or whatever your heart desires for your fiscal year. There are many different uses of the format function. You can find all of those uses on Microsoft. The list goes on, and it's a very useful function, so I suggest checking it out. After that, I do have a return statement using the function switch. Now, what switch is going to do, it is going to evaluate a variety of conditions, and then it's going to return a result based on what is true and what is false. So for instance, my very first condition I have here is if the month is greater than or equal to 4, then it is going to give me a range of current year to next year. And then after that, I have what is like my false condition. So if the condition is not met, so if it is not greater than or equal to 4, then it is going to give me the previous year dash the current year. So that is what my DAX function is. You can see below that it has created this fiscal year column. If I open up my little arrow here, then it tells me all of the different ones that I have. So I can see a range all the way from 2000 to 2001 to 24, 25. So we've got it all in here. It looks good to go. You can obviously add more columns to your date table if you so choose, but I thought I'd start with just a few of the basics to get you kicked off. I hope you found this video helpful today. Please make sure you use my code Amelia40 if you plan on purchasing an on-demand learning subscription with Pragmatic Works. I will see you in the next YouTube video.